Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm okay.
Thank you for coming on the stream today.
I'm dropping something in your PMs
Hey, Becca.
for future reference.
Okay. Are we going for more the merrier? Today we are doing our bullet journaling stream here, James. So if you have something you want to say about bullet journaling, you're welcome to join us. But it's not our writing stream today, just so that you're aware. Or if you have questions you want to ask, you'd be welcome.
I don't have a camera. Never mind.
You don't have a
I
camera.
am basically doing a quote-unquote unboxing of an MDA5 grid paper.
Oh,
notebook.
cool. I'm going to do an unboxing too. You don't have a camera? Can we get a camera?
Temporarily, but I'd have to like pop in and out of the chat a couple times.
That's okay.
Okay. I'm not actually unboxing it until I have my plan done, though.
Okay.
And I've had this for the past like 6 months. It's just still in the wrapping.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
I can take pictures. How about that? Pictures are better.
All right. We can do pictures.
Because these are really good notebooks. Stupid phone.
I'm trying to find a place to put my keyboard out of the way right now so I can get this started here. I am not doing very well. Maybe if I move my light over. There we go. That should work.
I'll put it in your bullet journaling channel in the server.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Now if I could just move that so I can see the screen. There we go. All right.
There you go. Hopefully it's uploaded.
All right. Welcome to Bullet Journaling for Chaos Gremlins. We postponed our stream from yesterday because we were working on a project, A Tonesmith's Carol. But we are live now, and we are going to celebrate bullet journaling, which is a good thing because I desperately need to catch up. One thing that I'm going to be going into detail about today is working on journaling when life is crazy and you don't have the time you want to do in order to effectively do the journaling practice that you want to do, right? We're also going to do an unboxing. I guess a couple of them, because Moon is going to show us her planner, her notebook here that she just got, right? I am going to be unboxing my washi tape. Finally came. The washi tape that I didn't think I was going to get from Tiefossi finally showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to unbox it because it just got here right before the stream. It's why I was late. So I'm very excited. Okay, there is the notebook. So, do you guys want to start with the notebook unboxing or the washi tape unboxing?
I can unwrap it on my iPad if you'd like, but I will have to pop in and out if you want me to do that.
I will start by showing the picture here of what you've done. And yeah, that's of your notebook. Ooh, that looks cool. Okay, just a second here. We're going to put that on the screen.
Let's switch to iPad real quick.
We're going to turn off our journal camera because, check that out. Yes, switch to iPad. Unboxing is cool. Ooh, so the brand is what, Midori?
Yeah.
Designed for comfortable writing. You'll have to tell us how that works.
It is very good for fountain pens. It has a grid pattern. Sorry, I have to do something real quick.
Yep, that's all right. In the meantime, Becca says, I want to do bullet journaling. Next time we see each other, you need to show me. I will be happy to do that. I think you would find this really fun and very helpful, honey. I certainly find it, like, really helpful and fun. Put it to you this way. Although I don't have my setup. I'll put my camera back on for the moment. Although I don't have my setup organized the way I want to for January yet, and I'm going to be working on that on stream a little bit today. I do have the basics done, right? And I have been keeping up with the information and the logging of the information, which is what you're doing this for. And you know what? Here again, Chaos Gremlins. I washed my hands right before the stream. Hey, Faye! By the way, Becca, meet Faye. Faye is a new sister adopted by your dad, which means you get me too. You know how it works. And she said she's never going to take it back, so all right. Yes, I've talked about you frequently, actually, because I think that you two really would like each other a lot. You're both of a similar age. You both have kids that are of similar ages. I think that... I know, I believe it, and we love you too, hon. This is very new, but we're that's how we work, you know. Found family. That's how we do things. I honestly think you guys would be the bestest of friends. So... All right. Now we've cleaned the dirt out of my nails, sort of. Anyway.
Oh, come on.
Oh, are we on iPad now?
Yes.
Yes, we are. Okay, so we're going to share this. I'm going to pop out this window, and I'm going to put it up.
Let me know when.
And turn off my camera. We're going to put...
It's really easy to unbox, but I'm going to show off the inside.
Okay. Now we're going to turn off... Sorry, just a second. I have to turn off my Chrome window. Oh, that's like, why is that such a, oh, yeah, because I had people in guest chat before. Okay, so we're going to make the window bigger. I hear all the rapping and rapping.
This is hard to do with one hand.
Yes, I am sure.
There, the plastic part's off. Now there's this. This is made of paper, actually. But here's the stickers it comes with.
Oh, that's handy.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to switch hands with this iPad. So it's covered in this little piece of wax paper and stuff.
To protect it in shipping. That's a good idea.
I think the wax paper is actually supposed to stay on as like a sort of protective cover, but I never keep it on. If I can get this off.
I'm also getting a good...
So this is what it looks like.
Oh, nice.
There's a little embossing thing right there.
Very elegant.
If I can open this. First page.
Nameplate page.
And here's a random page. It has little dots to signify where, like, the quarter marks are. It's very nice paper.
And that's actual grid as opposed to dot grid, eh?
Yeah, this
neat.
is a grid paper.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm switching switching back to computer now.
Okay, no worries. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. That is really cool. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to put my camera back up. That's not the right camera. We need the journal camera set up. There we go. Okay. So, my turn for unboxing. This is that set of space washi tapes that we ordered from Tiefossi. We did not think we were going to get this, but they sent it to us anyway. And because of the delay in the shipping, which was the result of the Canada Post lockout, not even their fault, apparently they didn't charge us for this. So, just letting you guys know that, because when a company does a solid like that, I like to give them a shout out and support them, right? This is the first thing I've ordered from Tiefossi. They've got some journals that I want to get when I go to my, when I buy my first dot grid journal. But I really wanted these washi tapes. I think it was Moon who found these for me, actually.
That specific washi tape? No, I did not.
Oh, I see. That's meant to close again. Oh, that's neat to protect your tapes. Well, that's clever. Okay. Let's look at these individual tapes. I wanted space for my space-themed journal, right, that I'm doing my long-term stuff on. Oh, look at that. Okay, we're going to have to unwind some of the tape. Oh, this is a sticker roll.
Yeah.
This is
washi
like
stickers.
Washi stickers. These are all individual stickers. I don't know if I can... there's got to be a way to open it, right? Without,
There is probably a single sticker that's on the end.
Okay, is that the one? Because it's the one that we see all of the sticker of.
Then that's probably it, yes.
Okay, no, they're individual stickers stuck to the tape, so I won't be able to unwrap them all. But my goodness, look at that. I'm going to have to make like a code page where, because these will be a repeating pattern. I've seen this kind of product before, but this is the first time I bought one of these. So what I'll do is I'll make a page in my long-term journal that has a sample of each of the different stickers on it. But you got like, okay, there's a Jupiter in there. I can see it. Right, and that looks like a Neptune. Oh, look, these are all individual planets, I think.
Probably. Plus
I mean,
probably.
That's a spacescape, but like, and that's a starscape there, right? But that looks like Venus. That could be Neptune. That's Jupiter. We recognize it by the red dot. That is most definitely Mars. That's awesome. That excites me a lot. Wow, that is cool. Okay, so first one. I'll put that aside now. Oh, look, little shiny planets. Oh my god, that's cute, isn't it? Look at that.
Med check.
Oh, thank you, Faye. Yes, I had my meds. Thank you for checking. We're going to unwind this tape so we can see the pattern. Yeah, and it starts to repeat where? Actually, this doesn't look like it's repeating for a while. It looks like they took a slice of a big picture and made it into a tape. Wow, look at all this. Look at this. There's not enough room in the screen to show the pattern before it stops repeating, or before it starts repeating. Okay, there's the repeat, I think. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. That is so cool.
You're going to ruin your washi tape.
I'm going to put it back now, carefully. Pressing it down as I go so it stays stuck.
Washi tape typically does not have very strong adhesive on it.
Yeah, and that's deliberate.
You've got to be kind of careful not to wear out the adhesive sometimes.
Good advice from Moon that I had not yet given, but yes, she's quite right. Moon is on here to offer her advice and suggestions about bullet journaling today.
I'm also setting up my own bullet journal from April, so
Cool.
I'm planning on starting it in April. Morning.
Morning, Nat. How you doing? Moon is a very organized human. Moon is the reason why I got into bullet journaling. She's been doing it a lot longer than I have, and she probably has some great advice. Why don't we start with what tips do you have for people who are just getting started?
Make a plan. Figure out what pages you want first. That doesn't mean you have to have them all, and that doesn't mean you have to stick with only those pages. Just make a list of them. Speaking of which, you hear drawers opening and closing. I'm trying to find something.
Fair enough. In the meantime, I'll crow about this particular tape a bit. Look at these dangling stars on strings. I thought that was just gorgeous and very whimsical. I can't wait to use this. This will go well with because this is a gold foil on it, this will go very well with my February theme, which is going to be kintsugi. This will also go well with my long-term journal because of that. So, I mean, mostly I bought these for my long-term journal, but hey, I like space stuff, so you will see this appear in my regular journal too. No kidding. Gold foil constellations. This is awesome, especially because this is a blue background. This will go very well with the tapes that I have in the other space set that I've got, the starry set. So that'll gives me some options.
Here it is.
And then we have little mini planets with gold foil. I love this. This is cute. I can see myself using this one a lot.
Oh, I never actually finished filling out all of these.
So what was it you were looking for?
I have this old gold planning journal from 2020 to 2021.
Oh, useful. Are we going to need to see it? Probably we should, right?
Maybe. Let me find one that isn't filled out. So it had a lot of these pages. I'm just posting a picture.
All right.
It had a lot of random pages like this. This type of journal was discontinued the year I got it, so you will not be able to find this journal, but I'm using it as inspiration. Discord. Bullet journaling.
I'll go back to the channel.
Gold journal inspiration. This is a type of discontinued journal from Michael's. That's one of the pages. They also have vision board stuff. If this wasn't filled out, I would definitely have said it. It's a spider graft. There's a bucket list. There's a bunch of stickers that it gave you. And this is all before the monthly stuff. It had a routine tracker. It was all undated too.
That's great. I love that. I've been thinking about how to list monthly projects and goals. Right? Okay, so I've been watching, of course, again, a lot of Joshi Koren, and she had another great live workshop yesterday. Right? And the thing is, I don't she's got this whole thing about break down a project into its component parts and make a checklist and check it off, and I'm like, I don't know how to do that.
Here's one of the daily routines.
So that's something I intend to work on today.
I mean, that's something that works for her and will probably work for you once you figure out how to do it.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I've just got to. I mean, it's a typical thing with ADHD, right? And one of the big problems with ADHD is that a lot of tasks, like the laundry, we were discussing the laundry. The laundry is not one task. The laundry is about 5 tasks, you know?
She's
And
talking about that.
gotcha. First
The
thing
laundry is
first.
5 tasks. Those 5 tasks are the tasks she's talking about.
Gotcha.
Because laundry is something that a normal quote unquote person would put on there.
That makes sense. I probably should provide more room for these things. You know what I need is actually.
Realize that her normal quote unquote audience is neurotypical people, and she's not neurotypical. So she's phrasing it in a way that an ADHD person would talk to neurotypical people about.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Found this.
Okay.
So I didn't fill out a couple months of this to have blank pages. So that is a good thing in this case. Oh, my finger's in the picture.
James is currently watching A Tomesmas Carol, apparently, and interacting,
Yes.
which is cool.
I hope people don't mind me just freaking spamming all this.
You're here because you're sharing your knowledge and information about bullet journaling, and
This was my first ever bullet journal, for the record.
that's cool. That's a cool setup. I see how that works. I don't know how well this is showing up on the stream because the image could be rather small, but all those colored circles are dates. They're numbers, right? 1 through 31 and an extra one at the end, right? And then they've got lines on the left and then lists of circles. And this is things like you put...
This is a habit tracker, yes.
Yeah, so habit tracker, right? And now this is an efficient habit tracker. I like this because there's lots of room. You could put in like a whole bunch of different things on each line, like brush teeth, right? Did you do it? Check it off in the circle under the first, right? That's awesome. You could do so many things with that.
I'm going to put some digital resources in there. They're PDFs. Forgive me, I can't make them not PDFs because that's how you have to print out paper templates.
That makes sense.
Okay. First things first, the spider grid.
Spider grid, that sounds interesting.
Spider grid for tracking goals. I'm pretty sure this has like 11 levels. Actually, I should probably count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This has 10. And levels. For tracking goals. 1 goal per quote unquote slice. You're gonna have to download it to actually see.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. We can do that.
It has like 6 goals or 7 goals or something. That's a weighted grid that I don't need to share. This is just hexes.
Okay, so how does this work? With the spider
put a
grid?
goal along the top line and you fill it in for levels.
Oh my god, this is fantastic. My ADHD brain...
Thing.
Oh, my ADHD brain immediately seized on this. See, because what I'm looking for is a better way to track productions, right? Things like, you know, the things we do in Game of Tones, the Kintsugi Queen, the A Tomesmas Carol, stuff like that. You know, 50K Team Up, which is the next project I'm going to be working on there, right? I wanna have a better way of keeping track of where we're at, right, and what needs to be done. And my brain responds to this. I could put like, you know, what I would do, because these are big projects, right? I would do the whole page in this particular case for, well, let's take an example, the one I just finished, the Tomesmas Carol, right? And then I would have, you know, captioning under one heading there, and I would have video edits on another, and special effects, or and dialogue recording and whatever, right? And then
So I got this from Incompetech, which I
okay.
also put a link to. They literally just have graph paper that you can make your own of. This one is the spider graph. Concentric polygons is the levels. Spokes is how many divisions it has. You can change the color. You can change the line thickness. It's pretty far down on the page.
Wow, we are definitely going to be putting this link in the video description when it makes YouTube, guys. This is, look at all these different grid options to plan things. This is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There's the spider graph. Holy crap, look at this. Oh, I got to skim through this and brainstorm ideas of how this is going to...
I actually found this while looking for like handwriting paper, so.
Wow. This is great.
I was actually looking for like hex grids.
Well, there's a hex grid down there.
They have a lot of hex grids, like different types.
Oh, look, and we can print out our own dot grid paper so that if we're using a line journal and we want a project for a dot grid, we print the dot grid. I love this.
I recommend like, 5 dots per inch, I think. I had 4 dots per inch downloaded, though.
Cool. Oh, this is some good stuff. I could do a whole bunch of different things. And some of it would depend on the month, too, right? Like, when I'm going to have a busy bee theme at some point here during the course of the year. And obviously, I'm going to want hex grids for, just the appearance, right? The reference to honeycombs, right? So, change it up, make it interesting.
A lot of random stuff and journals.
That is amazingly cool. Nat says 50K is almost done. Really, I am almost done. Oh, she's
Yay.
talking about her. Nat came up with a scenario that both explains her absence in April because she's getting married for the April Game of Tones event, and will serve as a 50K challenge scenario, which I think is great. I'm pretty sure that's what she's talking about. I'm still talking about the 50K challenge. The 50K team up from Word War 4. We're still working on those videos. That's the next one in the sequence. We're getting back to it. Uh-huh. We're also still working on Fall of the Woodlanders. The Fall of Mollusca is ready to be put together, though. So, all right. That's off topic, but this is cool. Okay, I'm going to put this link to this page in the chat. No, I'm not, because I can't. Could you, please? I can, or yeah. I can. It's just I got to dig out my keyboard. A pain in the ass. So that's where the page I'm currently looking at here, with all these different grid options on them. And what a great thing. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. All right, so that's going to give me ideas. So we're going to leave that. I'm going to leave that page up. In the meantime, I'm going to go back to my camera and continue the unboxing. All right. So in the next row here, we have a pretty sort of indigo starscape. No foil, just the prettiness of the stars. I can think of all kinds of things I can do with that, so that's awesome. And here's a purple one that matches, only it's got more nebula stuff in it, which is nice. I might start dividing things by color. I don't remember which one was next. I think it was this one. This one's mostly, like, it's got some stars and stuff, but it's mostly geometric shapes. This one might be an interesting one to like, I don't know, there's nothing specific I'm thinking of for this right now, but it's the kind of thing that would be useful in a bunch of different things because of the multicolors. And this very much appeals to my ADHD brain. Look, it's pretty geometric patterns and colors and shapes, and I'm back to being 5 and playing with blocks, which is great. This is cool. Comets, a polar star, and it's all silver foil on a very dark blue indigo background. That is cool, and I can definitely use that in my current theme, as you can see, since my current theme is silver. That'll go really nicely with that. So that's... I'm glad I haven't finished my January stuff yet, because this will give me an opportunity to make use of some of these new toys. Oh, that's neat. That's kind of an old-fashioned, like, celestial theme. Oh, with a moon? Yeah, absolutely. Nat is going to post a link to her Kickstarter. She is launching a book. And if you'd like to support her, then, you know, she's an excellent writer. She does a lot of really good stuff. She's quite into her self-published author career. Check it out. These ones are like little tiny border ones, and I love that because little tiny borders are useful for a variety of things. You can use this to make lines on a page instead of drawing lines on a page, for example, when you need to divide things. This one is purple star and like gold foil stars, and this one is sort of a magenta color with some gold diamonds on it, which, you know, I don't know exactly how that goes with the celestial theme, but it looks nice, and that one will definitely get use in my next month's theme. So, and hey, stars are always useful for me, right? Because like I said, space is evergreen for me. So this one is a blue-black starscape. That's awesome. It's very, it's showing up very blue on the camera, right? But it's a very, very dark blue. It looks almost black in my light here. So, and I like that. I need that. I needed a darker background. Now this one is about to get a lot of use for my silver theme, because that is a silver gray starscape with like whimsical 5-pointed stars in it. Soft and pretty. Silver foil planets in outline on a dark blue background. Very pretty. Oh, we have more whimsical dangling stars, but they're dangling from planets, and this looks like... Yeah, this is a very whimsical drawing of a spacescape. I like that. That is pretty. And it's also silver foil, so more opportunity to use that. Similar thing here, except we don't have the dangly stars on strings. And the background is blue as opposed to purple. And last but not least, we have these other little tiny ones here, which I really love. This is like sparkly little diamondy stars on a sort of purpley background, and this is sort of a teal background, I'd say, with like little tiny sparkly stars and comets in silver foil. So gorgeous. You made a bullet journal wish list. Awesome. That's a good idea. I'm starting to make... I might have to get an Amazon wish list. You know, now I have things I can put on a throne page, right? You know, throne where people, you know, can buy you stuff in lieu of sending you money, you know, and it's all confidential, so it doesn't share shipping information and stuff like that. People have been urging me to get a throne page for a while, and I'm like, yeah, but the only thing I need is like a new computer, and nobody can afford to buy me that. But, you know, now I've got stuff I could put on there. Can always get me bullet journaling crap, because I love it. Well, that's pretty, and I think that was worth the money. I'm pretty sure this cost around the neighborhood of $40.
You cut out a little. What?
Oh, I said I'm pretty sure it cost in the neighborhood of $40. So, just for information, I will put the link to this product in the YouTube video when I upload it, so that people can find this if they want it, because I think it's really cool. And also, hey, Tiefossi did me a solid, so I'll do them a solid too. All right, so now that we've done the unboxings, we'll get, first I'll mention what Nat is going to say here. Nat's saying she's not publishing the book she's kickstarting yet because she's still writing it. It's now a bit of a commitment thing. Now she needs to finish the project because she wants to do all the things that are listed on her Kickstarter, which is cool. All right, so back to the topic at hand. You were talking about make a plan. Decide what pages you want before you start. So how would you go about doing that, do you think? Somebody, you know, most of my audience here is brand new to bullet journaling. They've only been doing it since I started talking about it and showing it on screen. So how would you start with that? Like, how would you decide?
I usually follow along with Joshi Corin's Planning Your Best Bullet Journal video and kind of modifying it for me.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Really, she has a more in-depth process than I do. By a lot. But, for example, from the timestamps of this video, Step 1, defining your journal's purpose. Why are you doing this? That will basically be a very good hint as to what you actually need and what you actually don't. For example, if you're doing this as part of your relaxing routine, you can get more artsy than if you're doing it as a purely I have to get organized or else type thing, because the stretch, oh my gosh, because the people who are like extremely busy will probably not have as much time to do art.
Yeah, that's actually something that I should get into here, right? This is a problem that I've ran into this month because I was really busy at the end of December trying to get A Tomesmith's Carol completed before the Christmas season was over, right? I didn't have as much time to do the fancier stuff that I'd done in, you know, and with November having happened right before it too, I didn't have as much time to set it up for this month as I wanted, right? So, but here's the problem, right? If I do a strictly based, you know, organizing, it's all functional tables and shit, I will never use it. It will bore me to death. I will look at it and it'll be like, this is lines. I don't want to write lines. I'm not interested in that. I want to make, oh, I got something on this. I want to make pretty stuff is what I want to do. So, you know, how do I do that? So one thing I did do, okay, and that's part of my main topic for today is setting things up when you don't have the time to set it up. I started with the stuff that I knew I absolutely had to have. Right? So I took a bunch of sticky notes. I'll show you because I put them in here so that I don't have to create them again. There's a bunch of sticky notes with the different types of things that I wanted in my next month's layout. And I set it up in such a way, like I put the sticky notes where because now I have an idea of how many pages I need for each thing. So I put the sticky notes roughly where I wanted to lay it out, and that gave me an opportunity to shuffle around the pages into an order that I found more pleasing before I had actually started writing in it, which was really useful. And then and I did move them around a couple times in the process. But after that, I started with the things that I knew I absolutely had to have, but I knew where the other things were going to go, right? So I made a plan. One of the first things I started with was my productivity or my trackers, right? So this series here with the really pretty waterfall tabs was where I started. And that's because this is the stuff that it was absolutely necessary. How busy was I? How productive was I? How effective, in what areas was I productive? Exercise and sun lamp stuff, hygiene tracker, meds tracker, food tracker, all this stuff needed to be done before anything else. So A, I did my basic calendar. That's the first thing I did. And then B, I did this. Right? And the thing about it is, too, I went with a slightly simpler design for this month than I have used previously. It's still very artistic because that appeals to me and attaches my brain. And I made sure to set up things like my productivity area breakdown. I decided deliberately to do it in rainbows because, hey, rainbows. Ooh, rainbows holds my attention. It's like shiny things for a crow. So, my mood tracker works the same way. You guys have seen that before. But that's the first things I set up, right? That stuff, the mood tracker. Because I knew that I would need these before I needed anything else. And this, I had a moment when I was at my daughter's for Yule on the 14th where I was setting it up like that. Oh, it's a rainbow. It's shiny. I'm a raven. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I was very proud of this. This was fun. I was inspired to do this by the comments in the chat. If you're watching this later, say, that they love this page. Faye says she loves this page. Yeah, I was inspired by the trip down to see my daughter. It was winter, and I live in an area with a lot of lakes, and there was a very metallic look to the lake, and I thought of this tape, and then I went, aha, and I have these other tapes, so I can do this, right? So that was fun. That was my fidgety project while I was sitting there chatting and waiting for Yule dinner. So thank you, Stretch. And Stretch, by the way, says, which he's hilarious, hey guys, my question for bullet journaling is, do I start with the high or low calibers? That's awesome. Your sister's drying her hair, so you have to turn off the mic for a minute. Fair enough. Yeah, so that's what I started with. Then I did this. This is a new thing. You guys haven't seen this yet, but I figured out one of the important things. Okay, so back to what Moon was saying about the purpose of your journal. A thing that Joshi Koren says, right? The purpose of your journal. Nova says, addressing pain points in my routine is where her purpose is. In other words, she wants to find out where her routine is breaking down and then find ways to fix it, right? So that things are more effective and she is more productive. So for her, a lot of trackers are probably a good idea. Tracking, when you get up, did you remember to brush your teeth today? That kind of shit. For me, my purpose was getting my shit together. What do I mean by that? Well, okay, so in part it's about mental health, right? Because I have been through a difficult period of mental health, and recovery is a big deal for me, right? It's been a rough year. It's getting better, right? A lot better. This is helping. So that's one of the things that I'm keeping track of. So mood stuff is important, and, what I ate, and, how much did I sleep, right? These kind of things are more diagnostic tools to see where my mental health is at, right? But also stuff like, ways to improve your mental health. That's why the art and the inspirational quotes and the gratitude log, stuff like that, because my goal is mental health improvement, right? So that's why there's a lot of this stuff in here. But there's also the practical element, right? I am an ADHD Chaos Gremlin. I need to be more functional in my life. I find that difficult. So it is important to keep track of, things like, I'm terrible at remembering dates, right? So tracking people's birthdays is important. And I'm, terrible at remembering, time is a weird soup, and it might be 2 weeks before between the time I talk to somebody, right? So I need to keep track of when was the last time I spoke to so-and-so, what do we, where did I contact them? And that'll give me an idea of, the quality of the communication, right? And I'm also doing things like, I started this. This is, now that I'm at a place where I've been tracking, like, my day-to-day and going kind of one day at a time, now I'm trying to take a broader perspective. And this is basically a daily log. This is a basic bullet journaling method thing, although this is the grid format here that I'm using is not from the original method, but it's basically a daily log, and it's to keep track of things like important events coming up. If there is an arrow, it means that's been migrated, as in I pushed it to the next day. Yeah, a weekly spread. Pardon me, not a daily log. This is a weekly spread. Very common. Correct. Sorry, thank you. So it lets me look, a few days ahead, what I've got coming up. Thank you. I also have this one, month at a glance, right? And you guys, I talked about that last time, right? Where I have these, dates where things are going on that are important, and I need to check them. I've got Faye's birthday written right there. Welcome back.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Sparkles. We are live on stream doing our bullet journaling stream today. How are you?
Oh, hello, everyone. I don't have a bullet journal, but I'm thinking about getting one.
Well, fair enough. Do you have any, questions or thoughts about bullet journaling? Like, if you're thinking about getting one, is there something about where you'd like to start that you're thinking about?
No, I just want to try and get a little more organized with my thoughts, especially becoming a teacher and doing a teacher thing full time now.
Actually, I would recommend to you Joshi Corin's channel because she used to be a teacher. That's what she did before. Yeah, that's what she did before her bullet journaling content really took off, and she decided to be a full-time YouTuber, right? But before that,
okay, if you could link me the channel, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, I could. Yeah, getting organized. Joshi Corin's got a lot of stuff that's really useful for teachers, specifically, like, how to plan per semester, and, how to make a lesson plan and stuff like that.
As an ADHD human-formed mess, that sounds really useful.
She also has ADHD. She's useful. She's very helpful.
Yes.
I draw from her a lot.
Like I said, as an ADHD-riddled human-shaped mess.
Yes.
I swear, I'm being held together by duct tape, bubblegum from last week, and prayer.
I 100% believe it. I know what you mean. The anxiety doesn't help either. Yeah.
No, the anxiety at this point is like the one, how do I describe it? The anxiety and depression are two hands molding it into the human-shaped mess. The depression's like, anxiety's screaming, please don't blow up, please don't blow up, please don't blow up. Depression's like, it's gonna happen, just let it.
Yes. Yep. I hear ya. I hear ya.
Mm-hmm.
So are you on your way to work?
Describe my mental state. No, I'm on my way home.
Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
I'll probably swing by Taco Bell and grab a Quenchito wrap or something. No, wait, that's bad. I need salad. I believe there's a chicken salad there.
Okay. Is improving your eating habits one of the things that you'd like to work on in your bullet journal? It sounds like you're rethinking your diet here.
No, I'm trying to lower my blood pressure because last time, when I first checked it on December 31st, people don't panic. I know it's high. It was 106. It was 206.
Blink.
Yeah.
Go to doctor.
Worry,
yeah.
Don't worry, it's gone down. It's at 170, which still isn't great.
No. But it's better than that. You have a doctor's appointment.
For the 30th. For the 30th. I know I could get in sooner. Unfortunately, whenever I called them about it, they said technically you're not having a heart attack yet, so it's considered a non-emergency.
Right.
I'm just on the verge. I'm edging a heart attack.
Hugs, Nat.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, hugs, Nat.
Hugs the Nat. I don't know why we're hugging her, but she deserves it.
She said, I am not panicking, in asterisks. Go to the doctor! She screams at you.
How do I put this? Whenever I see I'm not panicking, or whenever I say I'm not panicking, because I've watched a lot of television, my brain immediately fills in with the Morgan Freeman voice. He was in fact panicking.
Yes. Yes, she's worried about you. She wants you to go to the fucking doctor. Yes, which
I am
you should
worried
do.
about me too. I do not want to die. I feel like it inconvenienced many people.
It would.
Yes.
Including yourself.
Yes, I'd be late for so many things.
Yeah, Nova says, oh, I hate that. The whole not emergency thing. Yeah. Yeah, I would like it to not be an emergency, hence this is why I'm here now. No, you actually have to be dying first. Oh, fuck's sake.
I don't want it to be an emergency later, so I'm here now. Unfortunately, we don't have room for you. Oh, okay. Well, we have empty rooms. Oh, you do? But they're for a potential emergency. So you can't see me now in case someone in the future has an emergency.
Right? This is not productive. This is not productive.
That's like I have a trailer in my garage for a boat. I may get a boat in the future.
Right? I agree. That's silliness.
However, I currently live in Nebraska.
Yeah, that someone could be me. Yeah.
Which, if you don't know, people of the non-United States, Nebraska, we hear of landlocked country, and we hear of double landlocked country, a country that is landlocked by landlocked nations. Then we have Nebraska.
It's 4 times landlocked.
Yes.
You might say you can mention the ocean there without getting arrested.
Yes, it's similarly to calling Arkansas Arkansas. They will just shoot you on sight. You have endangered the sovereignty of Nebraska.
Anyway,
I'm going to get back to talking about bullet journaling. Right? And how I decided to set things up in such a way that I did the things I knew I would need the most first. Right? This is one of the things that I set up. If you guys will remember last time you looked at this page, the mood blog and sleep tracker, very essential, but I had there were no inspirational quotes. It was just the grid, right? Because that's what I needed. And I have been keeping up with it, as you can see. Now, granted, these numbers aren't what I'd like them to be for the sleep tracker, but they have been happening. There has been sleep. And overall, it hasn't been too bad. Right? I assume I must just be tired because it's been kind of broken up. But I just put in the moon things today, the moon phases, and I just put in the inspirational quotes last night. What I tend to do for inspirational quotes is I think of my theme, and then I type that into Google and I go inspirational quotes, silver, right? Because silver was my theme. And then I put in stuff that I think is appropriate that includes that, right? So in this case, you can't really, well, actually, you can see them pretty well. A quote here from Joni Mitchell, who is, if you haven't heard of her, she is a Canadian songwriter who has written some classic stuff. But my family could only afford to get me the box of 8 Crayola crayons, but I craved the one with all 24 colors. I wanted magenta and turquoise and silver and gold. And I thought, yeah, that's me. I'm the 24 crayons kid right there, right? And then over here, I've got from Gandhi, right? It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver, because I'm keeping track of, my sleep and my, how did I poop today? How was it good? Like, I realize it seems like a weird thing to be keeping track of, but I'll remind you again, IBS, right? Related to PTSD and anxiety. So, right? And here...
By the way, Sable.
Yes.
Flop on top, gnaw on ears. Stop putting your ears up.
Thank you. Yes, ears down. Ears down because no high stress ears. Right. And this quote here is from Khalil Gibran. The most pitiful among men is he who turns his dreams into silver and gold. Of course, the reminder there is priorities, right? Quality of life. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Sable, how are you? We're cold and getting ready for snow and ice, says Christ Rider. Yeah, hey, Happy New Year to you.
Same.
I haven't seen you in forever. The snow has already happened here, and it's melted, and it's happened, and it melted again, and, and now it's kind of wet. But, which is a little warm for this time of year, but not terribly unusual. So, I feel you about the snow and ice. I put snow tires on my car. That was an adulting thing. Let's talk more right. I said get back to the topic. Okay, Becca, thank you. Yeah. Nat says, my blood pressure is also high. That is why I have a caffeine regulation. I also need to check it regularly so that I'm not becoming a problem. Well, this is the kind of thing you could put on a tracker like this. Or the other trackers that Moon shared earlier, right? With the lines and the different circles, right? How much caffeine how many cups of coffee did you drink in a day? You could be tracking that where I'm tracking hours of sleep, right? Did I remember to take my meds? These are the kind of things that I take meds 3 times a day, and I have that on a separate tracker as a result. One of my most important things. It is there because I needed that kind of space for it, and I did take my morning allergy pill, so I do get to go like that.
Also, you can write down if you have a reward.
I love that, Nat. I am going to copy that. Nat says, the true treasure of life is the love you give, not the silver that crosses the palm of your hand. I love that, and I am going to take that and copy it into a message to Erin so that I can put it in my journal later.
Is
You
that
want me to do it?
I got it. Thank you, though.
Is that a...
Actually, I'm going to copy it to you, because that way, there. There we go. Sorry there,
like
Sparkles. What are you saying?
Oh, no. I'm just saying that I feel like I've heard that when I was discussing Tulip Mania during World History once. I felt like, is that Dutch merchant said that? That's a very recognizable quote. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, okay, so anyway, I did that first, right? I did the things that I absolutely needed, and I made space for the other things. I kept it to a more minimal decoration setup than I have typically done, right? So that it would take a little less time, but, it would still be available. This took me a few days to do, but I did it. And now it's active, and it's even up to date. I've made mistakes here that I have not corrected yet. We'll be doing that today. Actually, I could do that right now. So what's your plan when you don't have enough time to do...
Really bad.
Am I? Okay, I'll bop in and out of the Discord chat here. It won't matter on the stream, but I'll be right back. Okay. So, oh yeah, check out this washi tape, iridescent. Ooh, iridescent silver. You can really see it in the light. Anyway, I was asking, when you don't have time to do the kind of setup that you like to do for your journaling, I mean, I don't know if this is even applicable to you because you plan months in advance, but do you have a plan for when you don't have time to plan as far ahead as you want to?
To be quite honest, I haven't bullet journaled in about 3 months.
Ah. Fair
I
enough.
have fallen off the horse with it before. It's generally when I'm in a place where I cannot really bullet journal at all because too much is going on. There's nothing that stops you from just getting back to it. I will say that. No one's going to judge you if you put it down for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean...
If you can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah, that's totally valid, and that's something that, you know, I think is great that you brought up, right? Because people are like, oh, I haven't kept up with it. Now I feel guilty about it. Why feel guilty? You're doing this for yourself, right? If you want to go back to it, just go back to it, you know? She's right. Nobody's judging you. What happened to that brush? That particular liquid paper is really old and is dried out. I really should get a new one, but it's just not something I've gotten around to yet. It's probably a future me problem. I should put in my future me problems. So what I am currently doing is I am cutting out, since my liquid paper didn't work, I'm cutting out little pieces of these round blank stickers, which I had left over from my store because I was using them for price tags. And I am using them to cover up the mistakes that I made, and then I will fill in the paper there. This one will probably work real well like this. But I can cut that into smaller bits. Yeah, so, you know, one of those tricks to fix the mistakes that you make in your journal, if you look at it and it's like, that's a blot I don't want! Because let's face it, some of us are ADHD or OCD about things. Joshi Corin tends to be pretty picky about her journals, so she has lots of good tips for fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
How does she describe that? What's the phrase she uses?
I don't know.
Persnickety fidget or something like that?
She uses a lot of different phrases.
Anyway, I like it. It makes me giggle.
Probably right, though. That sounds like her.
It makes me giggle. I like it. Okay. Now, just make sure those stay. And then we'll do this. You. And now we're fixing our mistake that we made with our pen in the journal. Yeah, so that's another, that's a thing, right? You can catch up later, right? If you're not journaling regularly, if you've fallen off the horse, you can always go back to it, right? You can do the basics about what you need ahead of time and then do the rest of it later. You can, you can sometimes journal back from, like, let me show you what I mean here because I'm having difficulty describing it. This is my daily log, okay? Right? My daily, they would call this long form journaling because it's actually prose, right? And I'm writing about that. But like I said, this is a flow of consciousness. I just write the thing. This is what happened today. I don't pay much attention to the sequence of events. I don't try to make it make sense. I just write what happened in the ADHD fashion in which it comes to me, right? So, I've been doing this one day behind pretty much every day until yesterday because I've been busy, right? So, but the world is not going to end if I didn't log what happened on the first once it becomes midnight on the second. It's not like, okay, now you've turned back into a pumpkin. No, right? You can still keep track of it, right? I think it's important when you've got a few days behind you to kind of go, okay, so I only kind of remember some things that happened that day and make a note of that. But you can do that, There's no reason that you can't. Right? Also, if you're keeping up with this, I find that if I keep up with this, even if I don't end up, like, I've gone as much as 3 days back with my mood tracker because I just didn't get there, right? Maybe I wanted to just quickly write something down before I went to bed, and I don't have the the pens that I wanted to work on with because this is all done in my colored Tombow pens, right? So sometimes I've gone as much as 3 days back with this. But as long as I'm keeping up with this, I can do that because I can look and go, oh yeah, that thing happened on the first. How did I feel about that? And then I can, put that effectively into my mood tracker and still have it accurate.
A little example of a little tiny plan that was a brainstorm for a reading journal.
Great.
It is a very dirty, crinkled post-it note. It's perfect for this. Just a bunch of random ideas for a reading journal.
Awesome.
Journal to demonstrate how one can plan spreads. Of course, I don't read enough to justify this, but I'm a slow reader.
That's okay. All right, we're going to put this up. Random ideas for a reading journal. Making a plan. This is what...
I'll read it off because it's kind of hard to read.
Hold on, before you do, I'm going to put it up on screen anyway. There we go.
Yes, just let me know when.
I'm ready.
Favorite authors list. Reading medium tracker, as in like audiobook versus physical book versus whatever. XX reads in 20XX.
Right, 25 reads in 2025, for example,
yes,
right? Yeah.
For example. Reading tracker. Favorite reads. Reading reflection questions, new words and phrases, which is especially helpful for someone like me who does not always understand idioms.
Right.
To be read for a certain niche. Authors I read, author-based TBR, trigger warnings, as in like, this book has X in it, do not read this. For like a...
Gotcha.
For a friend recommendation system. I don't know how else to explain that.
Gotcha.
Book-related acronyms. Don't know where I was going with that one. This was made a couple months ago. Nonfiction topic log. What topics do I want to read nonfiction about?
Right.
What to read next chart, which is hard to explain, but it's basically a you know those dual things where you like have multiple people and they're like in a bracket? Yeah, that.
Gotcha.
Favorite tropes and least favorite tropes. One sentence reviews. Pre-reading ritual, which is basically just what do I want to do every time before I read a book. Cozy reading recipe, which is, as said before, but what does my ideal reading look like? Books I own. Favorite characters. Book collections. Reading stats to track.
That's neat. That's a lot of different ideas.
Yeah, I don't know how I came up with all this.
What do you mean by reading tracker? Do you mean like I've read, 3 chapters in X book?
More like pages.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or in case of audiobook, minutes.
Okay.
Or a timestamp.
Right, so that's a tracker that, will basically function very similarly to my writing tracker here with the grid. Gotcha, okay.
It's a way of keeping track of how much have I actually read today, as well as making sure you start on the right page if you lose your bookmark.
That makes sense. Cool idea. Okay. Yeah, I can see how that works.
Habit of losing bookmarks.
Me too. I've definitely lost enough bookmarks in my life, but that's a great idea. You could do a circle tracker, like the one you showed us with the habit tracker kind of thing, right? And then I wonder, I still have that picture up, don't I? I probably do.
Yes, like the Goodreads one.
Is that the one? No, that's your.
Yes,
There, that one.
You had understood me exactly, Nova.
Yeah, okay, so checking it. Nova says, like maybe a fantasy sports kind of thing for the next read brackets. That could be fun with my indecisiveness. Perfect, yeah, right? And Nat saying just like Goodreads has, but then on paper and without the need to log in. That's awesome. And Becca has a bookmark basket. Yeah. Yeah, I tend to use Post-it notes, right? Or receipts, or like a lot of the books that I have came from the bookstore I used to work at, which were always, the price labels were done on Post-it notes with stickers, and I tend to use those. I turn them like upside down so the sticky part attaches to the page. I've lost a lot less bookmarks since I did that, but I do still lose them. So it's something like this, right, where you're keeping track of, okay, so right now I'm reading Post Captain by, what the shit is his name? It's an Aubrey Maturin novel, right? Master and Commander, that kind of stuff. I'm rereading it. So I'd write Post Captain, and on, January 1st, I got to page 105, right? And I'd write 105 in the first slot. And then the second one, okay, I got to page, 150. So I write 150. And then that way I can look it up and go back there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Business cards as a bookmark, that's a cool idea. I find those aren't effective though. I used to have a bunch of, they fall out because it's thicker than the paper. Yeah, maybe you should do a bullet journal but for reading, which would be fun, says Nat. This is what
okay, I'm sending Nat a video.
Yeah, this is exactly what Moon is talking about when she speaks of a reading journal. This is something a lot of people are doing in the bullet journaling community, and I've considered it myself, but the only problem is I would probably find that too much work. I may borrow some stuff from the reading journal community, though. Things like, the page tracker is a good idea. Things like, okay, I'm collecting this particular series, right? Which of these books do I own in a checklist? That's something I might put into my long-term journal, stuff like that. I'll borrow some of it. But I know the problem is if I end up with like a journal dedicated entirely to reading, then I will just, it'll all be book reviews.
Those journals are generally for people who read 100+ books a year. I'm not going to lie.
I sometimes do. I go through years where I do that. You know?
And they also find the fun in reading 100+ books a year, and tracking and reviewing is the big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They review each book in that journal. That's what a reading journal is about.
Yeah, I stopped doing...
Find a specific one.
Yeah, I stopped doing book reviews on Goodreads because it was too much work for the other projects that I wanted to do. So,
Trying to find a specific video that Joshi Corin did I think that actually introduced me to Joshi Corin. It was a reading journal. And
I love the idea of it, though.
Someone else's reading journal, actually.
Neat. No, I love the idea of it. I mean, like, there were times in my life when a reading journal specifically would have been brilliant for me. Right? I'm just not currently in that place. Maybe I'll start one in the future. In the meantime, I will borrow things from reading journals that will be useful. And I may borrow this topic list here, because...
Who was she?
But this is a good example here, what Moon has on the screen of making a plan, right? She's planning a reading journal. These are some things that she thinks might be fun to try. Right? I might do the 25 reads and 25-25 thing. That might be cool, and pick topics, pick the books based on my themes, right? That might be interesting.
I could say that I'm actually doing a reading journal.
Yeah, but that's okay. You know, maybe you're planning on it. Maybe you want to in the future. Maybe not. You know, maybe you won't, but... So I realized today, by the way, the disadvantage of my system when with the whole, okay, I'm going to start with the stuff that I desperately need first, right, is that I actually did forget an important thing in my list, and I had to do some rearranging to figure out where to put it. But on the other hand, because I did all the sticky note things to plan out where things would go, I have room for that, and I was able to make the adjustment fairly easily. So I was going to do a 2-page spread of stuff to do, but instead I'm putting the to do here, and this is going to be the place for my daily wins and gratitude, which I did not make a space for it here. I don't know why I didn't think of it. I did take out my previous journal and flipped through it to plan out, you know, where things would go, what I needed, what I was using in a month. And I don't know why I managed to skip that page, but I did. And because I've been busy and distracted, it did not occur to me. But there's my mood tracker for December, and then there's the daily wins and gratitude. Oh, that bent. No, we don't want that. Stop bending. Okay. This is important. This is a thing for, you know, make myself feel better about life. Have you accomplished anything today? You know? Yeah, you accomplished something. You always accomplish something, right? Even if it's, I got myself out of bed. You know? Maybe that was hard that day. It's a daily win, right? I went for a walk, you know? I you know, managed to make that stupid adulting call that I really didn't want to do, and it, you know, pissed me off. You know, I did my taxes, whatever. It's, you know, daily wins, right? Daily gratitude. Something to be grateful for every day, right? It helps you develop a positive mental attitude when you're thinking about, okay, you know, well, things seem tough right now, but even though it's tough right now, I'm grateful for... I find that my family and friends tend to end up here a lot, I'm just saying. And that tells me something, too. That tells me where my priorities actually are. Which is an interesting thing for a person with PTSD, because one of the things I've done is that I've often worked really hard, right? Overworked. And it's been kind of an avoidance thing, I guess, in part like, you know, like an addiction, I guess, right? And so I have a reputation for being very busy And people feel like they're bothering me when they want to spend time with me. And this makes me sad because obviously, right, because I keep going grateful for, grateful for Becca, grateful for Moon, grateful for, grateful for Faye, right? Obviously I think my family and my friends are really important to me. And I obviously am not giving them enough attention to make them realize how important they are to me. So I'm working on that. Right? And that's one of the reasons why this is important. It tells you, where are your priorities in life? What are the things that actually matter to you? If there's a common theme that shows up, right, then you know that's important. So, and I did not put this in this month yet, so we're going to be doing that today. Moon, you have any comments on that?
What do you mean?
Deciding on your priorities, right? Figuring out what's important to you in your life. Right. Do you keep a daily gratitude thing? Like, what do you do in your bullet journal? There's a good question.
Well, my bullet journal has a different purpose, so no, not really.
Okay, what do you do in your bullet journal? What is your purpose?
It's more of a project tracker than a true bullet journal, to be quite honest. And I haven't done it in a long time. But usually it's just like a set the goals for the day and fulfill the goals for the day. Drink 8 cups of water or whatever it is.
Right.
I use it as a habit tracker more.
That's perfectly valid. So you tend to use your bullet journal a lot like the Mark Your Pages uses his bullet journal, right? He's all about the habit tracking and the project tracking, right? I've learned this because I've been watching the Planner Pals podcast, which is he and Joshi Corin are buddies, and they met through bullet journaling, and they do a podcast about it together.
Mark Your Pages also has his own bullet journal out.
Yes!
I think it's actually sold out, though.
Yes, he just he was very excited about it a couple months ago. He was talking about it.
Bad, but I don't think it's available anymore.
Yeah, if you're just looking for, okay, I need to get my practical shit together, and mental health is not really your focus, right? Mark Your Pages has some.
Mental health is for other things for me.
Fair enough. I was just going to recommend Mark Your Pages as a good example, right? His content tends to be geared towards that, very practical stuff, which is also useful for me. I like the idea of a project tracker. That is also something that, I need to do better, obviously. And, I'm thinking that I will start to look into more project and tracking and goal setting as an aspiration,
I will say I have not found like a good thing for me yet, but you've got to like play around with it,
Right.
So like I do different things for different things all the time. I haven't gotten a distinct, this works for everything.
Gotcha.
At all.
Okay, so what do you, what kind of projects do you track, and how do you approach them, and why didn't it work for you? We can learn from this.
So far, the best example I have is 3 note cards for fan fiction.
Okay.
These are for articles. It's called, insert name here, checklist. And they're numbered 1 through 3. And then it has topics with dots next to them for articles. So it's basically a need to write this, need to write this, need to write this.
Oh, I see.
That's my most recent try. It did not work.
All right, that's fair.
But it's very hard because my focus has not been there recently, and you know this. I've
yes.
been burnt out. If I still had these note cards, they would be such a good example. But I had a timeline on the wall.
Right.
That's how I do stuff.
A timeline on the wall. That's cool. Okay.
I no longer have the wall space for it, and I no longer have the note cards either. So yeah, I would put note cards with, what did I have on there? Setting, weather, time, description, characters involved as little chips of color.
Right.
So like that's how I tracked that project and how it was plotted and stuff. And then in like a I do a lot of things with note cards. So I don't do a lot with the journal itself. The journal itself is like a summary of the note cards.
Right.
Usually, at least. Now I'm trying to figure out how to get it to where I'm focused on the journal instead of note cards because I keep losing the note cards.
You know, that's one thing that I think would work very well. You know, have you considered like the sticky note
Okay.
method thing, right? Where you
I'm
make.
going to show you a picture of why I keep losing the note cards
All right.
by switching into the iPad.
Okay.
Because this will make a lot of sense once you see it.
I'm a little scared, and I also look forward to this.
One stack of note cards.
Okay, 1 second here. We're going to turn this off.
I keep losing the note cards.
Okay.
But as you can see, some of the color coding.
Wait. Oh, I've got the wrong thing up. 1 second here. Is this? No, I got a. Sorry, things are. I'm like all over the place, so my brain is, you know, in different applications. So. Okay. I see.
This is one of my stacks of note cards.
I
You
see.
can also see my YouTube in the background. I apologize.
That's okay.
You can see some of the color coding on some of them. But yes, as you can see, my... Come on, let me get the camera off. I lose the note cards.
I see.
So I'm trying to transfer it to a journal.
Are the note cards double-sided?
Huh?
Are the note cards double-sided? Like, do you use
Not
both sides of them?
always.
You know, you could probably tape them into a journal.
Probably.
Or you could make, like, the little pocket things out of the pages and stick them in the pockets.
A lot of this stuff really could just plain be transferred to a journal. I'm just trying to figure out how to get myself to be consistent with it, though.
Okay,
Because, like... Here, I'll give you an example.
sure.
Let me find a good example that would not be random. Too random. I don't even know why I still have that note card. Okay, I'll use this because it's no, I will not use that note card. This note card. Sorry. This is an example of one note card. One entry on one note card. This is a real life entry though, so maybe. At 1:37 a.m. Eastern Time on 25th April 2023, I won my first National Novel Writing Month event with 50,000 words.
Nice.
So they're literally just like notes.
You know, you're right.
I have other ones that are complete summaries of an entire book series.
You're right that could be done in a journal. That could be done in standard bullet format. Actually, the traditional method of bullet point, bullet point. That would probably work really well for that format.
Yes, I am very much someone who works with bullet points. I have written entire stories using only bullet points.
That's awesome.
I'm not even joking. They're really weird typically, but I've done it.
Nova
So
says
the problem is tracking something like that.
right.
And organizing it.
Yeah, because what if you have to move things around?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is sticky notes.
I don't think there's enough sticky notes in my thing right now.
And you
That
could...
is an irrelevant
Yeah,
note.
but
I
you could...
am running out of sticky notes in my sticky note folder. That is all I'm trying to say there.
Do you see the thing I've got on the screen here with the different, like, you know, layered sticky notes? You could set up something like that, and then you can move it around easily. You could, you know, put a dedicated page, you know, probably a spread. I do, like, a whole spread for, at least, for each story, right? Or
I'll give
each
you a brief
chapter,
rundown of what I'm planning for each project, though.
right?
I'll just scribble it down on this note card real quick because I am obsessed with note cards, clearly.
Clearly. In the meantime, I'm going to read off some of the stuff in the chat because we've been babbling and I've missed some things. Nova says, I'm trying to talk myself out of doing a hyper-focus corner because, well, it would not be a corner. What would you put on your hyper-focus corner? I would like to know. Becca says, I have one shelf that is my focus. It works well. She does, too. She keeps it to one shelf. I have seen it. It's pretty cool. Faye says, how would you make your own pockets? Cardstock, maybe? Oh, let me show you. I did one. What I did here, now this is a Joshi Koren thing again. Okay, you see that this is the, like, you know, first page of the journal with the nameplate, right? Okay, what I did was I took the first, like, actual page, which is usually partially stuck to this page anyway. I cut off about half of it, and then I used washi tape and double-sided tape on the inside, right? So you could use Scotch tape, though. Like, you know, you don't need to do the fancy stuff. Double-sided tape, I got a roll of double-sided tape in the weather stripping section at the hardware store, right? Because this is the kind of stuff. I had some left over from when I had plastic on my windows in my old place. Literally cost me $2, right? But you can put double-sided tape here, right? And then you stick this paper to this back, right, and it forms a pocket, and that's how I'm keeping all these little pieces of paper. These are offcuts that I might use later for other decorative things, right? So that's why they're there, and these are the sticky notes where I was laying out where I wanted everything. So, yeah, that's how you do a pocket. Yeah, and yes, James, of course you were in the credits and Atosis Carol. Nova says, oh, fangirl rambling about my current interest. My sister is likely tired of listening to me ramble. Story ideas that might make a plot garden for that, folklore and other research topics. You will have to tell me what a plot garden is. I don't know what that is, and it sounds fascinating. That sounds really cool.
Plot garden?
Plot
Curious?
garden. Yes. Oh, you were up to the credits. Gotcha. So you're done. Oh, and you're back. Welcome back, James. Yeah. See? So pocket. So yeah, my goal for today was to do my daily wins and gratitude journal, but I think we are running out of time, right? We've already gone well beyond the hour and a half that I typically do. So I think that I will probably have to call the stream to an end, and you guys will have to see the results of it next time. But I have all kinds of new washi tapes to play with now, and there were the other washi tapes which I haven't even fully used yet, and you know, I can't wait to design it, add some quotes. I've got these cool little, you know, brief inspirational stickers from the one set that I had that I can add in there. So, you got anything to add before we call her a day there, Moon?
Not really.
No? No suggestions, advice, encouragement for people?
Do what your heart tells you to. Nothing is right and nothing is wrong.
Right. I'd agree completely. Yeah, do what works for you. The point of doing the customized journal for yourself is so that it works for you. So if it's not working for you, change it. Do something else. No, you don't have to do all the same things we're doing. This is like, do what makes you happy. Nat, you want to do a reading journal? Do a reading journal. I think you'd love it, and I think you'd be good at it. There's all kinds of videos out there. One of them was linked in the chat that specifically deals with that. If you still have that link handy, do me a favor and send it to me there, Moon, so I can put it in the YouTube links as well. The one that was, the links that you shared that we discussed today.
I shared so many links. Good question.
Right, one of them was about a video on setting up a reading journal. One of them was about where we got those. Well, you've already shared that in the bullet journal channel, so I can already share that. The one where we got all the different grids that you can print off. I for something like this, you could either print it off on paper and use double-sided tape or glue to apply it to your journal, or you could print it off and put it on like sticker paper when you're printing it off, and then put it right in, which is what I'm gonna do. I think that's great.
I mean, I can get you the graph paper link, but like, all the other links are just random playlists from Joshi Corin.
Ah.
And I don't remember which ones. So I'll just send you a picture of Joshi Corin. Not a picture, a link to Joshi Corin.
Yeah, we'll link Joshi Corin's channel, and we'll also link Mark Page's channel. And the Planner Pals podcast, which I've learned some really useful stuff from so far. And I'll also link the Tiefossi tapes that I bought today. Well, that arrived today. We bought them like a month ago, but yeah, 2 months ago, something. Yeah. So thank you very much. Sorry I had to postpone this for a day. Thank you to Moon for joining us today. I really appreciate your insight. This was a lot of fun doing this with you. We got anybody to raid? Who's up?
Unfortunately, not even me.
Not even you. Sad face.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still,
My internet's stupid.
Well, in that case, you know what I could do is I could go back live on the Game of Tones channel today. I said I was willing to run the lobby now that my major video editing has passed, as it were. Oh, hey, Tal's up. Element Deads. Is she actually up? Let me look. Yes, she is. Okay. We are going to raid Tal. That is who we are going to raid. You're off to see a gamer, though? That is totally valid. Oh, okay. Moving my keyboard. Element Eds is a writer. She's a tome knight, one of our own. She's fun. You know, an editor. A nice, chill, chatty stream if you're not familiar. When you get there, don't forget to shout, "Prepare to be boarded," because we are the Sables Privateers. There's a couple raid shouts you can use. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you tomorrow for my regular writing stream. Bye!